coverage of the NBA here on 2K Sports. A happy Sunday evening to you and yours. It's Chicago facing Detroit. So Detroit will get the first possession. We've got a chance here to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. So for Chicago right now, Rose is out there with Mayo. Then it's Tyler Zeller. And then there's Antetokounmpo. And it's Porzingis in at the 4. Here's Antetokounmpo. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Antetokounmpo's got his team on the board to start the game for Chicago. Jennings with the ball. Drummond passes to Johnson from past the arc. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Yeah, poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at the basket from three-point range.
Jennings against Rose. Outside Mayo. The 3. And that one's good. Mayo's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
And how about that for a response?
Well, it sounded as though, or at least it looked as though it sounded like, we'll give you a 3, and then we'll take it right back.
Now here's Ilyasova. Johnson kicks to Caldwell Pope. 5 to shoot, and the call will be against O.J. Mayo. That is his first foul of the game. First quarter, about a minute and a half in. And it's Drummond missing. On defense, Detroit. Here's Rose. And no good, his first shot of the night, missing. Here's Caldwell Pope. He's covered by Rose. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Drummond a screen. 6 on the shot clock. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted. And really, I like the movement and communication there. Boy, you got to love that nice assist by Jennings.
Here's Rose. And it's Antetokounmpo, top of the key. And he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
The one-hand slam is so sweet when it's his hand doing the slam.
Oh, yeah, he is so smooth, even on a power finish like that.
And really, that's what makes him unique, that combination of power and polish.
Rose. The rebound by Caldwell Pope. Jennings with the ball. Now Mayo defending. Ilyasova, a screen on Mayo. Out left to the wing. Here's Caldwell Pope. The shot's good. Jennings making the play. Caldwell Pope's got 5 now.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
In the corner, Mayo with it. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
You know, that's hard to explain that play. I mean, I guess he thought he had more room than he did.
A different look here for Detroit. Morris is checked in for Ilyasova. Jody Meeks comes in for Johnson. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Brandon Jennings. C.J. Watson, he's checked in for Chicago. The basket counts and 1. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play. Detroit making a switch here. Baines is checked in. Chicago also making some changes. Young's checked in for Porzingis. Martin comes in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And it's Tony Roten in for O.J. Mayo. Chicago trails by 6. Now Watson. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. That's a 2 from Martin. They get it back. Here's Zeller. And too long on the shot.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
Now, here's Meeks. And there's the foul. It's on C.J. Watson. That's his first foul. Outside Jackson. There's the screen. Here's Baines. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Now, here's Watson. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Jackson against Martin. Here's Meeks. And Detroit again with the bucket.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
You know what? They just are in a funk right now offensively. A good time to maybe come up with a play to get them a good look.
Well, most coaches, usually have a go-to speech or tactic that they can use when they need it most. So we'll see if that's the case here.
Ryan Roberts is checked in for Chicago.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
Both shots good from the stripe.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
The drive by Jackson. Here's Drummond, and that one's good. Drummond's got 5 points so far.
They haven't been able to stifle him defensively here.
No, to the contrary. They haven't provided much resistance at all. And in this game, you've got to play both ends of the floor.
And there's Morris. That's good on the assist by Jackson. Jackson's got 3 assists tonight.
They've been hot here early. Dropping them in left and right.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. We'll see how long they can keep it going.
And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Roten dishes to Young. Hits it from three-point range. Young's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Detroit with the ball. They're on an 18-7 run. Here's Baines. That's good.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Here's Roberts, and he banks in the layup.
Superb assist there. He played the role of the maestro on that one.
Detroit leading by 9. They set the screen. The drive by Jackson. And Kevin Martin pulls it down.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
It always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
He got it up that time, but it wouldn't fall for him. The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. It's Detroit up 9. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return.
Ladies and gentlemen, dance team.
Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for Detroit.
A lot of success from mid-range so far for them, guys. If nothing else works, they can always fall back on the jump shot.
And also another aspect of their game that's been super so far tonight is how they've been sharing the basketball.
Johnson is out there with Ilyasova. Then there's Jennings. Then it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And it's Baines in its center. That's the group for Detroit right now. Detroit leading by 6. Jennings kicks to Baines. Passes to Johnson. There's the dish to Baines. Fader on the way. No luck. And Chicago will go the other way with the ball. No one near Mayo as he lets it go. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Detroit with the ball. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. Rose against Jennings. Dishes it to Ilyasova. Johnson the screen. 6 to shoot. Jennings against Rose. Rose with the block. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. And we play just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. The shot by Antetokounmpo. Nobody around. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Way to attack there and then create the contact.
Really as close as you can get to an and one right there. He almost had it.
Chicago shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight. And so Zeller nails both of them.
Boy, I tell you what, he does not look like your typical big man up there at the line. He has an excellent stroke and a percentage to match.
Now here's Jennings. They set the pick. And here is Ilyasova. It's back to Jennings. Johnson the screen. Just 5 to shoot. Jennings passes to Ilyasova. Detroit, no good that time either. Chicago trailing here. Outside, Antetokounmpo. It's good. This game is all even. Antetokounmpo's got 5 points now in the quarter.
In that tight, with that much of an advantage height-wise, there's just not a lot the defense can do.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit.
Just not happy with how his team is playing, and they just have been on the wrong side of this run.
Yeah, and you know what, Greg? Sometimes just a pause in the action, which is what a timeout can give you, is enough to change things around.
Good checked in for Tyler Zeller. Poked loose. Fast break. Here comes Chicago. They now take the lead. Now it's a 3-point Chicago lead.
And the defense scattered all over the place on the break. Nice job finding the wide open 3.
Ilyasova is screen on Rose. Jennings dishes to Ilyasova. He kicks it to Caldwell Pope. It's stolen by Rose. Here's Hood. Knocked loose. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. C.J. Watson. He's checked in for Rose. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. And there's the foul. It's on C.J. Watson. That's foul number 2 for him.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
Here's Caldwell Pope, guarded by Mayo. Jennings with the ball. There's the pass to Ilyasova. Clock at 4. Here's Caldwell Pope. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket. Chicago leading by 3. Here's Mayo. Marvelous lead pass, and he throws it down.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
And that last replay courtesy of Kia. Now a timeout called by Detroit. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
And the foul called on Marcus Morris. That is his first foul of the game.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, he was one step late that time, Greg.
Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Brandon Jennings. And Chicago also making a switch. Thaddeus Young, he's checked in for O.J. Mayo. Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Hood can't get it to go.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Watson for three. The rebound by Johnson. Detroit trails by 5. Rejected by Young. They retain possession. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. Chicago making some changes. Kevin Martin, he's checked in for Antetokounmpo. And Roten subbed in for Hood.
Kevin Martin. Tony Roten.
Chicago on defense. Only giving up 2 points this quarter. Meeks, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
That's his first personal foul.
And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for Chicago.
They've made the commitment to get out and run, and it's paid off with some highlight reel plays in transition.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
And so Meeks nails both of them. Chicago leading by 3. Here's Watson outside for Martin. Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
.158 left to play here in the second quarter. Jackson kicks to Meeks. Back to Jackson. Morris with the screen for Jackson. Johnson outside. Detroit, no good that time either. Watson kicks to Martin. Young outside, fires for 3. Rebound, Detroit. Drummond's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Kicks it out to Johnson. Pass to Jackson. The feed now to Meeks. Johnson, the pass to Drummond. Shot clock at 6. Kicks it to Jackson. Lets it fly from 18. And he knocks down the jumper. Jackson's got his first points of the night. Chicago with the ball. They're on a 16-6 run. It's stolen by Morris. Outside Jackson. Morris a screen. 18 feet out. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that move the basketball.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not quite sure what his mindset or what he was thinking there. I mean, that was just a terrible shot. That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense.
Jackson drives in. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Jackson's got his second bucket of the night. Chicago leading. And Young kicks to Martin. Back to Young. And Watson has it in the corner. Young outside. Out to the right wing. Feeds it to Roten. Back to Young. Lets the 3 fly. The shot misses. And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Chicago leads by only 2. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third.
Ladies and gentlemen, dance team.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first two quarters. One guy has been getting it done is OG.